If you find yourself talking to your loved one, passionately discussing the latest PC part release or your newest upgrade, but your enthusiasm is met with the dreaded blank stare, buddy, this is the video for you. Well, not for you, for them. Hey, I'm Keely from Thermaltech Australia, and today I'm essentially going to be translating PC language for people who know nothing about computers, breaking down some of the buzzwords and lingo so that even if you're someone with zero knowledge of PCs, soon you'll be able to understand enough to engage in conversation with your loved one and support them in their terribly geeky hobby. Also, just having a basic understanding of what all the parts in your PC are and what they do is a great skill to have. Even if it's not a hobby that you want to pursue, that basic knowledge can go a long way in the event that your PC encounters some technical issues. So let's say we start breaking down some hardware in a way that even grandmas can understand. Starting with an easy one, the chassis. When your partner is talking about their chassis or case, they're referring to the housing that the PC is in. Pretty self-explanatory, this one. However, there are different form factors which suggest the size of the case. You have full towers, which is a big boy, a mid tower, which is smaller than the full, but is still moderately chunky, and finally you have mini towers or mini ITX cases. These are the smallest of the lot and pretty hip with the kids at this moment. Next up, we have the motherboard. The motherboard is essentially your PC's base of operations, the thing that all the other parts plug into, so all the hardware can work together. Now we have the graphics card or GPU. This is probably the thing they talk about the most as it's the flashy, expensive bit of the computer. The graphics card is what makes the pictures pretty. Having a better graphics card means better graphics. Some buzzwords that often come with this category are brands like Nvidia, also known as Team Green, and AMD, Team Red. FPS, which is frames per second, the amount of images on the screen within a second, they will be adamant that if they don't get enough frames, their performance as a player will suffer, whether that's actually the case or not. G-Sync is a display technology that makes the monitor and the graphics work better together. Alright, moving on as we could talk about graphics forever. Next up, the power supply or PSU. Again, this one's pretty self-explanatory, but it's a bricky looking thing that takes power from your wall outlet and supplies it to the parts of the PC. If you want to sound extra interested, ask them if their power supply is at least bronze rated. And if they say yes, that's good. If they say no, give them your best, okay, look, you know the one. CPU. Okay, so this one stands for Central Processing Unit and is essentially the brains of the PC. It's super fragile and important. There are two options for the CPU, being AMD and Intel. Which brand they choose determines which motherboard they can actually get, as the two competing brands obviously won't let their parts work together. RAM. RAM stands for Random Access Memory. It holds all the data your computer is currently using. You can think of it as like the computer's short-term memory. RAM is one of the most important parts that determines the PC's overall speed and performance. It comes in different sizes and speeds that affects how quickly the PC can run. Finally, we have storage. When it comes to storage, you have two types, SSDs and HDDs. HDDs are hard drives. They're big and they can hold a ton of stuff, but they can be kind of slow. SSDs are solid state drives, a newer form of storage. They tend to be a bit smaller than a hard drive and they're more expensive, but they're super quick when it comes to loading things off of them. People tend to put their operating software like Windows and their games on their SSD. And that's it. Now you've learned a little bit more about their hobby, and it's time for them to return the favour. Be sure to send them the beginner's guide video of the Thermaltech Australia equivalent on the online knitting community, or whatever it is that you're into. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you have any other terms that I should have translated, pop them down in the comments section below. If you did enjoy the video, remember to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring a ding dong that bell to be notified every time we upload. And while you're still here, why not check out these Thermaltech videos beside me? And we'll see you in the next one. Bye! Should I
Yeah, shimmy on the other end.